Hello and welcome to Library Connection. I'm Mandy Cantrell, Youth Services Director at the B.B. Comer Memorial Library here in Sylacauga. Before I get started with the program, I want to thank TV47 for all they do to help us put on this program to keep you connected with events at the library and the community. Today we're talking about the bicentennial, which is definitely, we've had a lot of bicentennial programs at the library, and Lisa Compher has joined me. She's a friend of mine and she teaches at Central Elementary, right? In Coosa County. Thank you, Lisa, for being here.
Thank you.
On your day off, I've asked you to come in early. That's okay. Well, tell us who you are and where you teach and those type things.
Well, my name is Lisa Compher, and I'm a third grade teacher at Central Elementary School, and that is part of Coosa County. My husband and I, Doug, have lived here in Sylacauga for about 30 years and have raised a son and daughter, Nicole and Jonathan, here. And we love Sylacauga, but I also love Coosa County, and I've been teaching there almost 14 years. And we've just had a great time there, and I just love it.
Great. That's great. That's great. Well, I know you've worked there, like you said, several years, and I've written grants and things to help, because I think schools are always in need of more money to do more projects. And the bicentennial, I'll just read a little bit. It says, on August 3rd, 2018, Governor Kay Ivey announced the 200 Alabama bicentennial schools, and y'all were one of those, one of the 200. Each school received a $2,000 grant to support a year-long project designed to strengthen connections between campuses and their communities. Now, that just didn't happen. Your names weren't drawn out of a hat or anything. No. You wrote a grant. Is that correct?
Great,
yes. Great. What was the grant for exactly?
Our grant is, ours specifically was to have people come into our school to tell about the history of Coosa County. Okay. And in industry in Coosa County, and then broader on what is happening in Alabama. And some of that happened, and some of it did not, so to have things adjust. Yeah. We have a wonderful bicentennial committee that's for the county. Okay. And unknowing to me as I wrote the grant, they were writing some of these same exact things. So we just meshed some of our ideas together. We added a few ideas, and it worked out really well.
Great minds think alike.
Sometimes.
That's great. Now, I'll just throw in here, if you've ever written a grant, they are not easy to write. It's very complicated, and so I know they were very appreciative of what you did.
Well, $2,000 is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. It goes a long way. Well, so you told us kind of basically what the grant was about. Mm-hmm. What kind of activities did you have planned for the children? And y'all are a pre-K through?
Pre-K through 6, and then on site we have two. Those two pre-Ks are run by another corporation, so it's not run through our school system. So really the school system counts K through 6, but the pre-K kids are so cute. We see them all the time.
Oh, I know. So what kind of projects and things did y'all do, or the activities involved with the bicentennial?
Well, some of the things we did was trying to just introduce that we had a bicentennial coming up. Some of the kids are just not familiar with the state, and that we were turning 200 years old. So one of the kickoff things we did actually a year ago at our fall festival. And we made up little cards that had the Alabama 200 logo on it and the shape of Alabama. And during the fall festival, we hid those all over the school. And so kids were doing like an Easter egg hunt with the little cards.
Oh, how fun.
And so they got a prize if they brought it back to us, and then we had grand prizes, and then the kids got to keep the cards. So just starting the thought of what does our state look like, that we're having a 200th birthday, and got to talk to parents a little bit about it too. Great. So that was our kickoff. Later, we had a PTO night.
Parent-teacher organization.
Parent-teacher organization, yes. Parent-teacher organization night in January, where we invited all the families and the kids and everything to come and celebrate the bicentennial. And you'll see pictures a little bit later, but we had a contest where we took teacher pictures, and the kids and parents had to guess who the teachers were. Oh, so fun. Here were elementary kids looking at the pictures of their teachers when their teachers were in elementary. And the reason we did that is kids don't have a good concept of time. And so if you say Alabama's 200 years old, sometimes they think our teachers are 200
Oh, that's true. I'm sorry to say that, but they do. Yeah.
And so we pulled all those pictures out and had a great time. parents and kids trying to match that up, and we of course had prizes for that. We did a poster contest. Kids don't often think about that they are part of the history of Alabama. So the poster contest is how is your family unique to the state of Alabama? And so they had to draw a shape of Alabama, put things on there that made their family unique, and bring it to the PTO meeting. And you'll see some pictures of that too. We borrowed the giant Alabama map that is put out through the Bicentennial Committee. It is 17 by 22 feet.
Oh my!
And so kids literally get to take off their shoes and run around on Alabama.
How fun!
And see the diverseness of our state, the lakes and mountains and things like that. And let's see, what else did we do that night?
I'm sorry, I'll have to interject. I love that you're involving the parents in this too.
Oh, yes.
That's a very important part, I think.
Yes, we had a huge turnout that night.
Great.
So I'm glad of that. But, and you'll see some kids in a few minutes with prizes in their hands.
Yes.
And all of those prizes and things came through our grant money.
Oh, good.
And so we have big prize baskets, and everything in the prize basket was made in Alabama or grown in Alabama.
Oh.
And so whether it's honey or Coca-Cola or whatever, it was made in Alabama, and y'all see some of those baskets soon. Wickles Pickles was one of the highlights of the night.
That took a little research.
It was a lot of fun and research, and I ate a few of those things. But to encourage the kids to be a part of it that night. But then after that, we had a art contest. Every kid in the school was giving an outline map of Alabama, 8 by 10 outline map of Alabama. And so they had to draw, color, paint, glue things on.
Okay. Be creative.
Be very creative. It was not about the history of Alabama. It was more about just free art.
Fun.
We don't have art class at Coosa County. We just don't have the money for it.
Right.
And so to have something that we could give prizes for and encourage kids to be creative.
Yeah.
And we had a group come in, actually from the county Bicentennial Committee came in and judged all of the art stuff and gave the prizes. Let's see what else we did. We did the art. What else did we do?
We're going to get to it just a minute.
Okay.
That is neat, though. I love the art, though. And we talked about the shape of the state. A lot of kids are not that familiar. Now, you've got, third grade and younger, a little bit old. This involved kindergarten through 6. So they're not as familiar with the shape of the state of Alabama. I don't think people use maps like
as
maybe we did when we were younger. So that's very important.
Because they don't have to anymore.
Right.
Used to, we would get the map out and unfold it and find out where we were going on a trip and plot our course, and now you just put that in your phone. And so kids aren't familiar with the shape of the state or their county.
Yeah,
and so this was a lot to educate them in that way.
Right, and what a fun way to do it. We're going to pause for a minute for a commercial break, and we'll be right back to talk some more with Lisa.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Call a local company you can trust. Ox Foundation Solutions. We use the most advanced water management system to stop water from invading your basement for good. Things feeling a little uneven at home? Ox Foundation Solutions will fix your uneven concrete sidewalk, driveway, or basement in no time. Ox Foundation Solutions has the best plan to keep your home safe. If you are experiencing any issues with your sidewalks, basement, crawl space, or foundation, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Coosa Valley Medical Center, one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama, is also Sylacauga's largest employer. Services from the emergency room, to surgery, to cancer treatment, to post-stroke care. You won't believe what's right in your backyard. It's Coosa Valley Medical Center in Sylacauga. So, if you're sick in Alabama, choose one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama. That is Coosa Valley Medical Center.
Marble City Pharmacy in Sylacauga is your destination for the highest quality health care. Our knowledgeable pharmacists are always available for questions about your medications or advice on taking over-the-counter products and supplements. Our friendly staff can assist you in choosing from our full lines of compression hose and medical equipment. And don't forget our gift department. We have a great selection of unique gifts for every occasion. Stop by and see us today. Marble City Pharmacy, here for life.
Welcome back to Library Connection. I'm talking with Lisa Compher. She is a third grade teacher at Coosa. I always want to say Coosa Central. Central Elementary in Coosa County. Been there, you said 14 years, so you know a lot of the students, or all the students. That's
Most
great.
of them are in Walmart when I'm in there.
That's how it goes, isn't it? That's for sure true. Well, we talked a lot about the poster contests and things, so let's look at some slides we've got of some of those pictures. We'll just run through those. Oh, what is this?
This is our teacher. Guess who the teacher is? These are teachers from their elementary years. They've turned in pictures. There are quite a lot more than these, but this is just a sampling of it. And kids and families got to guess who the teacher is. Here's some of them doing that. Mm-hmm.
Did they guess very well, or was it?
Well, at first we tried to do it with no names to see if any of them could guess their teacher without names.
Yes.
And then that got a little complicated because we've had some teachers that have gotten married and changed their name, and then it was a little difficult. So then we put out the names, they're on the table,
Fine.
and then people went through and marked their clipboard on who they thought the teacher was.
Okay, so now this one of the posters?
This is one of the poster contests talking about families, how every family is unique to Alabama. And
we are part of the history. I mean, we
are part of the history. There's some more.
There you go. Everybody could do whatever they wanted to do, right?
Mm-hmm. This is one of our winners right here.
Good. His looks like photographs, I
He
think,
put
too.
photographs of himself. He is an Elvis impersonator, and he took pictures of places he'd been in Alabama doing his Elvis impersonations.
How
and then that's his prize basket.
How fun.
And so that's another prize basket. This child won the Guess the Teacher contest. His sister's hiding behind him. This is the giant map. If there's teachers out there that are interested in this map, I can make connections. They've since bought a few more of these. They're 17 by 22 feet. So you've got to have a lot of space when you roll it out. We use them at the PTO night and during the school year. We borrowed it for 2.5 weeks. And so this is some of the third grade classes learning. We have about 4 standards that the map fits. So if you use the map, you can knock out some standards.
That's great. Now, standards being things you have to teach.
Things I have to teach in social studies.
Great. There they are with the bicentennial flag.
Mm-hmm. It's another poster. You see, he likes Minecraft in Alabama.
Yeah, okay. All right. How neat, though.
There's one more. That's one of my students this year.
Oh.
Now, this is another set of things the kids did. This is the artwork. They were all given the 8 by 10 outline map of Alabama. They could cut it out, they could glue things on it, they could paint it. And this is one of the winners. She won a bottle of slime.
Oh, stars fell on Alabama. A meteorite, maybe, or the sun.
It was a lot of slime.
Okay.
And here's some more, just a group of them. We hung everyone in the hall. We have 470 students, not counting the preschoolers.
Wow.
So we hung a lot of things in the hall. This is one of the winners.
That's the camellia, the state
camellia,
flower, and the monarch butterfly.
butterfly.
Oh, how nice. I've learned a lot.
And there's some more.
Flag, the fish, and all that.
Oh, yeah.
War Eagle Roll Tide, huh? Good. Well, that is a large part of what we do in Alabama.
Yes, it is.
That's neat.
This is another thing we did. We used our bicentennial money to transport the students to Rockford. Our county bicentennial committee ordered the traveling exhibit of Alabama. It comes on a huge semi-truck.
Okay.
Someone has to be there, unloads it. It is owned by the state of Alabama, and they came to Rockford, I think, for 2 weeks. And it was set up in one of our buildings in Rockford, so we transported all kids grades 3 through 6 down to the exhibit. And it had iPads, and you went from station to station reading the iPads
Oh,
and stuff,
fun.
learning about Alabama.
That's great.
This last picture is one of my favorite activities we did. It says, "Oh, the places you will go in Alabama." Kids hear so much about our history, they forget that they're going to places in Alabama. They think it has to be somewhere famous. They think they have to go to the Space Center in Huntsville, or they have to go to Gulf Shores. They don't realize that Alabama is grandma's front porch, or you know, a park or something.
Oh.
And so we encourage students to travel all those places, take a photograph, send it in, and they get a little treat, and we put it on that huge poster. And it filled up very quickly, and the kids just loved it.
That's a lot of fun, encouraging them to get out and do.
Get out and do.
Because we are, like you said, we're Grandma's front porch. We're all those things.
We're all those things.
That is awesome. Now, you had people from the community come in and speak to classes too. Is that right?
Yes, we had a few people from the community come in. We have a teacher's husband that's in the forestry industry, and we had some people like that come in because originally we were going to have someone every other month come in. And so we had some of that, but then we also put some of our energy into things that the county commission was doing, the county bicentennial committee was doing, and that in April we had this huge festival, bicentennial festival.
Oh, fun.
Usually each community in Coosa County does that. Goodwater might have a festival, and other places might have a festival, and this year we put it all together.
Oh, great.
And so some of the things we were going to do in the school were some of the things that the county group was planning. And so that day at the festival, we had someone come in and show how to make candles, and every kid that wanted to could make their own candle.
Fun.
There was someone that donated carriage rides, so you could go around in a horse-drawn carriage. We had quilters. A lot of those things happen at the festival instead of at the school. So kids still got to enjoy it, but it's just in a different place.
Oh, that's okay. Everybody loves to go somewhere. When it's close by, it makes sense. Well, that is so fun. And I know I love how you incorporated, this is our county and where we live, and we want to be proud of that and know more about it, but yet our entire state too. That's great. And you involved all grades, all teachers, all kids.
All kids. One of the things we did that really kicked this off, I forgot to mention it, is our music person last year taught all the kids the Alabama State song.
Oh, fun.
And so at our Veterans Day program last year and this year, every kid in the school sang the Alabama State song. And so I think it's going to become a tradition now, not just because of the bicentennial, but because of that. And then at each of the Veterans Day programs, we recognize the veterans who were from the state of Alabama. And so it was so nice.
That is so nice. I think we tend to forget, maybe children may not recognize the state flag, or we talked about the state of Alabama, the shape and things, or the shape of your county and where it's located. So that's also important to teach. Well, great, and great to involve people from the community. So I know you didn't work on this all alone. You had a lot of help from your co-workers and things.
Yes, one friend especially is the tech person. I'm not very good with tech things. As you can see, look, old-fashioned handwriting.
That's okay.
But yes, we had a small committee. We actually worked a little bit with the middle school before our schools separated, consolidated. We worked a little bit with the middle schools also. The middle school actually got an honorable mention grant for $500. And so we worked with them. So there was a small group of us that worked to put it together and to make adjustments as needed.
That's true, that's true. Well, we're going to pause for another commercial break, and we'll be right back to talk some more with Lisa.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Call a local company you can trust. Ox Foundation Solutions. We use the most advanced water management system to stop water from invading your basement for good. Things feeling a little uneven at home? Ox Foundation Solutions will fix your uneven concrete sidewalk, driveway, or basement in no time. Ox Foundation Solutions has the best plan to keep your home safe. If you are experiencing any issues with your sidewalks, basement, crawl space, or foundation, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Coosa Valley Medical Center, one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama, is also Silicaga's largest employer. Services from the emergency room to surgery to cancer treatment to post-stroke care. You won't believe what's right in your backyard. It's Coosa Valley Medical Center in Silicaga. So, if you're sick in Alabama, choose one of the top 10 hospitals in Alabama. That is Coosa Valley Medical Center.
Marble City Pharmacy in Silicaga is your destination for the highest quality health care. Our knowledgeable pharmacists are always available for questions about your medications or advice on taking over-the-counter products and supplements. Our friendly staff can assist you in choosing from our full lines of compression hose and medical equipment. And don't forget our gift department. We have a great selection of unique gifts for every occasion. Stop by and see us today. Marble City Pharmacy, here for life.
Welcome back to Library Connection. I'm glad you've joined us, and I'm talking with Lisa Compher, third grade teacher at Central Elementary in Coosa County. I'm going to get that right before we get through. Coosa Central. Now, I know we talked about the schools have merged. Explain all of that, how that works. There's a lot of confusion, or a lot of people don't understand.
Well, just like the name is a little confusing. For a long time, they were called the Coosa County Schools because they were all over the county. And then about 20 years ago, they decided to put them all in one general location. And so that's what they did. They started with the high school, built the high school, moved it there, and you still had little elementary schools all over the place. And to be more efficient, they decided to move them to one place, and they did. And it's a wonderful campus, but it was a little bit spread out. And over the years, we've lost population in Coosa County. Factories have closed, people have moved away, and so those 4 buildings that are spread out, it was a little harder to to work with all that. And so what they decided, since we got a little bit smaller, to close some of the buildings. And so the older high school they closed and consolidated everybody into a more general location. And so sometimes people will say, oh, Coosa County is closing. Well, we closed a building.
Yes,
we closed a building.
Not a school, not a school.
An example might be here in Sylacauga. They closed East Highland. They closed Mountain View. That didn't mean Sylacauga was closing. It just meant that they closed some buildings. And so we weren't building new buildings when we did this a few years ago. But they were trying to make more efficient use of it. So a bigger, older, draftier building was closed and moved to a newer campus. I love it. I love it. Some people say, well, you've got these high schoolers. Well, our building is huge, and there's a central area with the offices and the nurse and that type thing. But actually, the big kids, the high schoolers, they're on the other side of the building, and we're on our side. Now, it does make it easier, though, for the great things that are happening. If you need high school kids to come read with your students, if you need baseball players on Dr. Seuss Day to come read books, they don't have to get in their cars or on a bus and travel to us anymore. They just come over. And so I love having those mentors. I love all the things the big kids are doing. One of the traditions at the school now is when the little kindergartners get ready to go to their cap and gown graduation, the big high school seniors put on their cap and gown and go down and grab a hand of a kindergartner and march down the hall. And the whole school comes out, and Pomp and Circumstance is playing, and the little ones go on to their kindergarten graduation. And then later, usually the next day, the high schoolers graduate. But having that, or just having an extra pair of hands sometimes. We decorated a month ago for Christmas and got some of those high schoolers that were available to come over and just climb ladders and hang art stuff.
They can climb a ladder a lot better than I can.
They can.
So
that's been wonderful. I think some people were worried, oh, the big kids with the little kids, but that's not the way it is.
You don't see them unless they're...
We don't see them unless they're allowed to come on our side and they have permission, but it has been a positive. It's even cut our bus routes some. The buses used to have to come to the elementary, to the middle, to the high school and make all those stops to let out students. Now the buses load and unload at one location, and one central location.
I got you. That is so. I mean, it's nice for parents. It's nice for you. I just think I love the older kids coming to read to the younger kids, the mentoring. And you said when they do the graduation march, sometimes you've got cousins
holding hands of cousins, and they'll sign up for who's going to hold hands to march to graduation. And the fact that we all line the halls and make it like a parade for them to go through. The same thing happened this year. I don't know if you heard, but we did make state history.
What happened here?
We won the 2A state championship in basketball.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome.
And when we won the region part, we all lined the hallways and cheered our team on as they went out the door. Well, then they won that, so we did it again.
Again and again.
That
is awesome.
And so having that, it made it so real, even for the little kids, because the high schoolers came over in their basketball jerseys and the cheerleaders came, and it was wonderful.
That is so neat. I'm so glad. I think that builds a great sense of community. Yes. I mean, when I taught, I remember teaching at the smaller school, and you knew everybody in the school because you were smaller and several grades, and what a nice a nice thing to do. Encouraging those small kids to think, one day I'm going to graduate from high school and I'm going to hold somebody's hand and walk them down the hall.
Yeah,
That's
great.
awesome. Well, gosh, Lisa, a lot of work went into this. I know you talked about the grants you wrote and people coming in. Anything else about the Bicentennial Project? You said you may have a little bit of money left over. Maybe you got to look and see if you can do
I got to
some
look
more.
and see if we have a little bit of money. We saved a little bit of money by having some things overlapping with the County Bicentennial Committee.
That's great.
And so save a little money there. We're trying to see if there's a few more things we can do. We have on hand already that we're borrowing that state map again.
Oh, good.
That stuff that was purchased with money through the state is still available for teachers to use all the
yes.
time. And so whether y'all want to borrow some things from the state for a PTO or for something in your classroom, it's available. And so we're going to do that again.
That's great.
And just the knowledge about Alabama, I'm hoping that continues on. Usually we put the focus on fourth grade. Fourth grade does
Fourth grade Alabama history, yes,
And,
yes.
But I'm glad to see so many different groups doing things.
That is great, yeah, and that's fun. And glad you got the parents involved too, so they're having a
Parents
lot
and
of.
grandparents, we had a lot of different things going
That's
on.
super. Now, this is not the only grant you've written for the school. You've written other grants to help.
Written other
receive money.
grants,
Yeah.
so we've, I wish the state of Alabama gave us enough money to do all the things we wanted,
Right.
but so there's a lot of paperwork involved in grants, and I encourage teachers to write those, and we've written grants for caterpillars before.
Oh, hey.
And because when you have to learn about life cycles, what better way to do it than write a
And
grant
to
for
watch it.
caterpillars? Those little
Yeah.
things are expensive.
Oh, yeah.
But you can write those kind of grants. We've received those grants. I have a grant right now for our school garden. People in the past have written grants for the garden, and the garden we've had so much stuff growing in our garden, but it's starting to look a little frumpy.
Okay.
You know, wood needs to be
Needs a little-
replaced, a little more
Right.
dirt, that soil, and that kind of thing. So I have a grant pending right now for to refresh our garden on things. So we're looking forward to that.
Well, I know with all you have to do already, trying to teach third grade, that it's great to see that you're doing some other things like writing grants, because all that is just more money to do what you, like you said, there's never enough money to do everything you want to do that would be so fun and help children remember things. But thank you for doing all that. I know the kids are very appreciative. I don't know. Well, the teachers are appreciative, and the kids have learned a lot. But that is great. Well, I just appreciate you coming today, and I enjoyed seeing all the projects you did, the posters. I know the children enjoyed it, and they've learned a lot about our state and a lot about your county. So even though the bicentennial is over, there's still things to be learned about. Maybe those children will travel Alabama and see a little bit more of the area. Maybe they will. Well, great. Well, thank you again for joining me on your Christmas break here. But we appreciate you joining us on Library Connection and hope to see you at the library.